What's up, guys and gals? Welcome back to the Nerd Castle for the next episode of Shadowrun Hong Kong. My name is Splattercat, and I'm happy to have you here today as we hang out for a little while. And actually, I'm about to snip this cable over here. Let's go ahead and destroy the power conduit on the side for the elevators. The drone tears out several of the elevator power cable controls, and a number of the diagnostic lights begin flashing red. It looks like you're going to be taking the stairs for the time being. That's perfectly fine. I'm okay with that. Sounds good to me. Let's get the drone up and out of the vent before we get caught doing this stuff in the poop chute right now. And then, is that going to give us a new dialogue option over here? How are we going to make this happen? The elevators obviously went out, so... How do I get into this little room over here? Oh, there's a door down at the bottom. Well, damn. I probably could have done that a little bit of an easier way, but I'm not going to stress about it. To the top floor we go. The 36th floor, anyways. We're getting up there. In the previous episode, we had done a pretty good job in the Matrix, I think, getting around. We'd had like one minor malfunction that had gotten us into trouble. Oh, we only had to go to 27. I thought we had to go to 30-something. That's not quite as bad. We were already on like the 5th. 20 floors of stairs, though. That'll take a while. It'll take a while to get you there. So inside, I'm assuming that security, once you get to this point, will actually be fairly lax. It's kind of counterintuitive because they assume nothing's going to go crazy on the top floors because they have so many catch-alls on the lower floors. It happens a lot in Shadowrun where corporations like the first 10 floors will have tons of security checks. But once you're up above that, they assume that anybody that's in there is supposed to be there because they got past all the other checkpoints. So you should be relatively unbothered for a little while. Let's open this up. Got any opportunities for money making in here? I think I'd like to go for it. Ares Asia Directed Energy Weapons Laboratory Annex, out viam and veniam out facium. Please direct your query. Let's check the recent messages. Attention, all information contained herein is considered secret. Orcon, duplication of files forbidden, authorized eyes only. Select file. We got Olympics canceled. Can't stink and believe it, Jung. After spending all that time and money tracking down tickets to the 2060 Neo-Tokyo Olympics, the OIC's canceled them entirely. Some crap about not having enough participants. I guess a ton of countries pulled out in protest over Japan's treatment of metahumans and the way they've handled their holdings in California. Oh yeah, by the way, the Japanese are super racist with metahumans. You really, really, really don't want to be an orc. If you're an elf, you might get a slight pass, but you really, really, really don't want to be an orc, a troll, or a dwarf in Japan. It's a bad call. It's not going to work out for you. I mean, yeah, I'm all for equality, but the Olympics, that's about brotherly love and the spirit of cooperation, the unity of mankind. I can't imagine anybody using them for such transparently political purposes, and it breaks my heart. Jacques, can you put those on my desk? I was hoping to get a look at your, I guess I'll call her Zaya, never mind, it's easier. Look at your power conduit to test data sometime soon. I'm going to be in and out of the office all day. Hey, I want to take a look at your power conduit. Come by my office. So just let yourself in and put them on my desk. The code is 98144. Cool. What about auto repair project? All information contained herein, select file. So we've got Desert Wars field testing. Congratulations, everybody. Ares Europe's given us the go-ahead on entering the Griffin drum prototypes into this season of Desert Wars. Between the auto repair circuitry, the MP laser prototypes, and the self-organizing threat assessment programs, I think we've got a great chance at being one of the standout stars this season. Obviously, we have a lot of work to do between now and the kickoff event, so I'm expecting plenty of crunch time. I know each and every one of you wants this as much as I do. It's hard for me to express how proud I am of this team and all the hard work you've put in over the past year. If we can pull this off, we're positioned to be one of the biggest teams in security drone hardware in the past 10 years. If we buckle down and put in the hours required, I know that we can do it. And Glenn live at my office, come get some. Or Glenn live at my office, come get some, Dr. Taylor. What about this one right here? Hey, Ian, I've been encountering a worrying bug in the latest multi-drone mesh network test. After checking on it, I'm pretty sure it originates in the self-organization subroutines. When the Griffin drones go into self-diagnostic mode and start sharing their telemetry data after field activity, they stop responding to external commands. Even kicking the debugger over to admin mode won't stop them. It looks like they're not responding to outside commands because their identifying activity orders is non-crucial in comparison to their attempts to share and learn from each other's telemetry. It's downright spooky. They tried to push me out of the room during one of the tests because one started firing the on-share cleanup basecamp function and the rest picked up on it. They identified me as an object to be removed from their secure space, and the worst part is that the trigger condition was me trying to shut down the mesh network. I don't know, Ian. I don't like the idea of drones making value judgments about administrator orders. I'd like to strip out the self-organization code for future tests until I could debug it. I understand that we're trying to play catch-up with Renraku on pseudo-intelligence front, but the fallout if this bug spreads could be pretty catastrophic. Yeah, that's problematic. That's big time problematic where they're like, we're going to finish our job instead of listening to you. That's a little nerve-wracking. I think we might be breaking some Asimov rules here. Just a heads up, team. Hold on further self-organization tests until you get the all clear from me, Taylor, or Yan. There's a bug where the drone network refuses external orders while they're pursuing their self-generated directives. Data sharing, learning, battle examination, etc. It's nothing critical, but it's going to make debugging the other systems a pain in the ass until we get sorted out. General tests are still a go. How much you bet the drones are going to get off the leash once we do this? Shit. Alright, well at least we got the passcode. I'm hoping we don't run into anybody in here. I'd prefer to keep it nice and abandoned. Dr. Hardingham's office. Do I have the key code here? Probably just deck through anyways. Is this the one that I needed the key code from? That's Dr. Taylor's door code. Okay, so I don't have Hardingham's. Let's go with Taylor's then, and we'll see if we can find anything in here. What was my code? We've got 98144. That's not too bad. 98144. There we go. There's a barely audible click and the door unlocks. We should be in here for right now. Ares Asia Holdings wishes you a productive day, Dr. Taylor. We'll plant the financial data. After a few moments, the data chip's light flashes green, indicating the data has been uploaded. Alright, and I'm going to check his email real fast. Hardingham, I cannot believe you. Did you tattle on me tonight, Errant, saying I'd blown off the security brief and ran to go drink alone? I'm a senior researcher, not a bloody prisoner. If I decide to go have a drink on my own, that's my business. Besides, Central and Admiralty are both crawling with police at any hour. They're AAA secure, for God's sakes. Listen, H, I really do hear what you're saying about security, and I promise I'm not taking it lightly. I was thinking we could hit up the pawn after the meeting tomorrow. I've got 8 or so takers from the lab, and Knight Errant promised to loan us a low-profile bodyguard to make sure nothing goes awry. How's that sound to you? They changed the door code while you're out on vacation. The chips got a little fried when somebody forgot to close the shutters in the laser lab when they were testing one of the new emitters. It's 23847. One of the researchers downstairs hit me up in a meeting about supporting something called Project 2231. It's headquartered in the Algonquin Manitow Council, some godforsaken black site called Complex 68G. I guess it has something to do with that debacle in Chicago, research into cleaning up the SES and whatnot. I thought it'd be nice if we could give them a hand, just lend them a prototype or the specs, let them test the laser out there. So that's been planted. We probably still need to plant more, right? Okay, so we need camera footage too, and then we need to get into the main lab. Let's go ahead and we'll go into Hardingham's real fast and see if we can get anything done here. What was that code? The code was 23847. So we've got 23847. And so that should open up nice and easy peasy lemon squeezy. Slide that on open and we'll check his terminal real fast just to make sure there's not anything going wrong over here. Let's take a look at project records real fast. So this is Project Redline. Preliminary reports aren't good. We can miniaturize the aperture and emission array from the MP Laser 3, and it's definitely possible to get down to a handheld size, but that's never really been the problem. Energy density is the core concern. Our batteries just aren't up to snuff if we shrink them down to pistol size. Without the MP Laser 3's battery pack, we'll be lucky if we even find a way to break 6 or 7 shots. It's a terrible problem, and one the boys over in Material Science have been dragging their feet on. Been checking into using some of the new dual-phase batteries, but the cost seems prohibitive. Let's see. Last week, Knight Errant officers responsible for the security of this facility received several reports of suspicious activity in the public area of the building. At 13:31 last Tuesday, security footage shows a troll, approximately 20 to 28 years of age, entering the public mezzanine areas of the building. The subject was seen attempting to gain access to restricted areas. The subject exited the facility before Knight Errant could intercept and question him. Reports from Ares citizenry indicates the subject was asking about research labs working on directed energy weapons. Several hours later, the subject was seen re-entering the building from a side entrance wearing a custodial uniform. Knight Errant guards attempted to detain the subject, but during the arrest attempt, both guards were severely injured. An employee or resident should contact security immediately if they see this troll. Do not attempt to detain him or interact with him in any way. The subject is considered highly dangerous. There's a note here from Knights Errant Security. Dr. Hardingham, it's our belief that the troll we recorded is interested in the research you and Dr. Taylor are undertaking. As such, we'll be providing extra security for your off-site team building exercise. Please be extremely careful when not within the facility. Your research and person are under threat at the moment. Alright, and then drone integration over here. Things are proceeded apace. Assuming a standard medium drone like the Inquisitor or Rover 9230 models, the drone provides sufficient power to enable the prototype effectively unlimited burst, though there's a tiny second charge time if the capacitors are drained rapidly. The small size of the emitter lens also means that the prototype can be mounted modularly or internally as the problem dictates. For smaller drone sizes, the output is more restricted, but still valuable. Charge times increase between 2 and 5 minutes, assuming the standard battery power. This does unfortunately reduce the drone's loiter time. Each shot reduces the loiter time by approximately 2.5 minutes. More than enough for a sustained engagement, but something we'll want to keep an eye on. Okay, well, I'm not gonna... Hold on. Let's go back and his emails here. Let's see if there's anything inside of here. So, leaking vent. We've seen the other ones. Vent 3 blocker ice code. Okay, I didn't see a vent 3 in there. Dr. Taylor, we appreciate your concern about the threat neutralization system leaking from your office air vent. Your safety and the safety of the lab are our topmost priorities. Until we can get maintenance to inspect the valve, you can access the security control for vent 3 via the matrix. The blocker ice code is there. Should any further leaks occur, please contact us again. And everything else looks like stuff we've already seen. Alright, whatever. It looks like we've got the security code for one of the ICEs here. But we don't have a matrix terminal for right now to actually act upon that data. And plus, I think it'll open this vent, which might allow us access to the lab, possibly. I'm not exactly sure what we're after here. How much you want to bet we're going to run into this troll, though? Let me open this door sort of carefully. Oh, knight errant's over there. We don't want that for a second. Okay, so I'm just going to leave that open for right now since we can't reclose it. It looks like we can access this on this side. It's a security room. And the server cluster handles the local records and systems for floor 27. Undoubtedly, the building-wide systems back up this data, but anything occurring here will be fed to the larger Ares Asia servers. It's a perfect place to upload the worm and faked camera footage. Let's do it. The chip flashes green, the worm is on, and the Golden Fong meeting with Dr. Taylor and Hardingham is on camera. So we've got another matrix jack point over here, but I'm going to wait until I absolutely need it because our trace is a little high, and going back in at the moment is a little risky. So are we done here? No, we need to get into the matrix lab. Okay. I think... I mean, is this the lab that we're trying to get into? Like, this looks like the lab that we're looking for. I already did that. It's got me pinged over here, though. What's over here? Oh, okay, so these Ares guys over here. We either go through there and get into a gunfight, or we use the matrix and it probably opens this up right here. Then we take a drone in who maybe opens this door on this side, possibly. I don't know. Looks like we have no choice but to get into the matrix, though. So let's go back into the stuff. I'm going to jump back into the non-meat space here. This might actually take us to a separate network. Who even knows? Take Blaster Killer. Take everything along with us. We got it. Hopefully this will be a different subnet. If it's the same one, it's going to be a little odd. Oh, it brings us in through that side. That's a jack point right there. It wasn't a dead end. It was a... Okay. So we got gas valve 1 control. Gas valve 2 control. I think I already got that one over there. So what am I after? Vent 3 blocker ice code. Not totally sure what I'm after right now. But I think it's probably best if I just hustle his shit. Ah! So there's our trace. Let's go ahead and run suppression real fast. That'll give us a little bit of secure. I mean, you only ever gain like 30 on your trace, so it's not really that big of a deal. If you're already in combat, basically running trace, you kind of want to do it during the normal combat. So on that side, I think we had elevator controls or something along those lines. No, that was gas valve. My orientation is shot right now. It looks like there may be off something on that left-hand side that we haven't investigated yet. Oh, that one turns left. Okay. Oh, he turns around. Never mind then. I'm going to go down this way. It looks like I already blasted my way through this system. There's a big hole in the security. That down there was the data store, so that doesn't really help me out that much. I'm gonna hold tight for just a minute until I get this sorted. Ooh, almost got me. If I go down this way, where does it land me? Another checkpoint right there, so that's where we came in from the other side. Well, it's gotta be in here somewhere. I mean, I wonder if it's labeled something different, because we've got vent code 3 here, but there's only gas valves in here, so I'm sort of wondering if I don't have a lot of trace to fiddle around with right now. And so that makes me a tiny bit nervous about what accomplishments we can do here. And that's going to take me back in and over here. So I think we've pretty much seen the entire system right now. The elevator override control. And this one over here, what was it? That was the scheduling, that's right. Alright, well I guess I'll just go back this way and we'll try and fiddle around with the vents, I guess. I don't think we have too much of a choice. I think we gotta make it happen. Luckily, we've got big enough holes in their security movements now to where we should be alright. Was this 3 over here? What was this one? That's gas valve 2. Maybe this one's 3. Gas valve 3. I think we actually have a pretty big opening right there. I might be able to make it. I'll try this one real quick, but I don't know. I'm going to try a password real quick, and if this one doesn't work, I guess we'll know that these are not the proper things. We've got CORT. Is that a 0 or an O? I hate it when games do this. So that's CORT3XFRZ. I don't know if that's an O or a 0. And none of the other codes have a... This is a long-standing problem in video games when developers fail to designate zeros from O's. Happens all the time. Maybe the O's are crossed and I just haven't seen them yet, but I don't see any O's in here. Do you think it's sent here? We gotta find a sentence. A sentence that starts with O so that we can match it up properly. It's probably not worth the effort, but... Well, we'll give it a go with the O first, I guess. It looks kind of like an O to me. So we'll call it C-O... Actually, that looks like a 0. It's a 0. It's elongated. It is different. Okay. So, CORT3XFRZ. So, what did this do for me? The subsystem is currently offline. It appears to be a one-way switch for a... Okay, so... If I don't have that right there, let me take a look around for a minute. I'm just going to look around. I don't want to waste your time, and I'm not sure what I'm looking for here. Alright, so having looked around for a little bit, I'm not really totally sure what we're supposed to do right here. Aside from walking like willy-nilly into this next room in front of them, but we already hacked the security protocols thing, so maybe that'll allow us to get through? Like, we already went to the effort of that. We can click on this thing down here and close the shutters, but I'm not exactly sure what that'll accomplish either, so we have two options here. We can either use the security shutters, or we can sort of just, like, not do anything. So I guess I'll try the shutters first and kind of see what happens here. So it says, shutters must be closed during energy emittance testing. Failure to close shutters is grounds for immediate disciplinary action. The shutter controls are also currently closing the security room shutters. I've talked to maintenance about it, but they haven't heard a chance to fix it yet, so bear in mind when you close the shutters for... Oh. So that shuts these shutters up. Ah, we shut them inside their little box. Enjoy that, you knight errant pricks. Alright, so apparently the code is for later. It's not for right now, but we got them covered. We're good. Let's open that door. We're in the lab. Cannot stop us. I bet that orc dude's gonna be in here, though. How much you want to bet? He's gonna walk in and be like, hey, how's it going? The stillness of the Ares laboratory is suddenly rent by the unmistakable sound of an explosion. The floor trembles beneath your feet and dust falls from the ceiling tiles. As the echoes of the blast recede around you, the distinctive smell of atomized concrete and scorched carpeting wafts through the vents. Duncan whips his goggles across the room, scanning for a clue as to what happened. What the hell? Somebody set off a goddamn explosion somewhere on this floor. That wasn't any kind of accident. Remember what Kindly told us about other runner teams getting pitched this job? I think they're about to show up. Well, it's never a real party until some random uninvited guests show up, drink your beer, and knock over your bookshelf. Gobbet shrugs, her indifference apparent on her face. Or at least for any party I've ever thrown. Nothing's changed for us. We do the job. I prefer when I play games like this and like Alpha Protocol, I'm always like the consummate professional. Can't let things get to you. Just keep moving, do the job as smoothly and as silkily as possible. Roger that. Keep your eyes open and don't make any mistakes, and we'll get out of this in one piece. Anyone takes a shot at you, you put them down hard and fast. I have many insults ready about their person, about their faces, about their mothers. I'm ready to put them down hard. The combatants in the next room are quite obviously Shadowrunners. Their gear is mismatched, they wear no uniforms, and the mixture of technical gear and heavy armor indicates they're prepared for anything. Okay, so let's go out through the back then. Just grab what we came for and get the hell out of here. Oh, shit. The other Shadowrunners huddle up. Their voices are loud enough that you can hear them even through the glass door. They don't seem to have noticed you yet. Christ on a crutch, that was nasty. The orc wiped sweat from his brow with the back of his hand. Jarl, was that the last of them? Looks like it, Bull. My C-12 wrecked the stairwell, so we're safe from backup via that route. He lands... Oh, shit, they're gonna come up the other way. He hands a canteen to the human woman next to him. Dizzy, how you doing? Taking a long drink from the canteen, the woman breathes a deep sigh of relief before tossing it back to Jarl. Remind me again why we went to the executive level before getting to the lab? I'm all for a brawl, but pulling 4 Knight Errant adepts off Opti isn't my idea of a party. Dizzy points an accusatory finger at the shaman. You, sir, need to practice your martial arts. Opti raises his hands placatingly. We had to go up there, Dizzy. Without the keycards to get into the lab, we're as good as dead. Bull could have hacked the door, but his deck got slagged after you threw that rigger into him and broke his concentration. I kind of want to just grab the shit and go, like right now, as quickly as possible. Gingerly, you start to inch away from the door and stay out of sight. 1 step, 2. Unfortunately, like a predator attracted by motion, the man called Jarl notices. His eyes lock with yours. Hey! He gestures towards you, body tensing up. Who the hell are you? Seems like we're here for the same job. Looks that way. I know this was too hot a job for only one fixer to pick up. Jarl looks you over. He has the clinical expression of a technician evaluating an inanimate object. I'll tell you what, we could talk this over in more detail inside. No arguments here. Bull waves an RFID keycard at the door, but only buzzes in denial. He glances at the keycard in irritation. What the hell? The card doesn't work. You set off an alarm and you don't even have a way out? I kind of want to taunt them because they're a bunch of jackasses. Who uses a bomb to break into a building, man? This is all about clandestine. Y'all, you brought a sledgehammer when you needed a scalpel. What the hell is wrong with all of you? You guys are broke in the head. Some Shadowrunners, am I right? Shadowrunners, am I right? It seems like you're in a bit of a bind. Yeah, it looks like. Opti shoots an angry look at Bull's keycard. Would it be too much to ask to have you open the door? What the hell do you need to get into the lab for? Probably the same thing as you. The lab has a laser prototype, yeah? That's what we're here for. It just looks like you got to it first. He glances over his shoulder nervously. Do you think we could have this conversation inside? In a minute, bird boy. How hot on your ass is Knight Errant anyways? It sucks that you're trapped out there, but I don't want guards crawling all over us either. Given the shitstorm we just set off by going to the executive penthouses first, we probably have a few minutes. They'll be too busy trying to figure out what we were doing up there. Jarl runs a hand through his hair and shrugs. Hardingham and Taylor's apartments were pretty trash, so they'll have to figure out what we were really after before they can respond again. Why were you up there? I'd gotten some intel that Hardingham and Taylor would be out tonight, and they had a secure safe down here. We figured that'd be where they kept the prototype, and the key would also work on the lab door. Bull looks mournfully at the keycard in his hand. If wishes were fishes. Looks like we made the wrong move. Heading up there first. Duncan speaks quietly so that the other team can't hear. We've got to let those people in. I went legit so that I could do something to protect people, not so that I could crack heads and have the star look the other way. If I let these people die out there, I'll be betraying my own conscience. Shit, man. On one hand, you develop a rep in the underground among Shadowrunners, and having a good rep with Shadowrunners is always a good thing to have. On the other hand, getting slagged by corporate security is not something I'm trying to do right now either on behalf of some other jackass that can't do his job right. Here's the thing, if we leave them and they get out of here, they're going to tell everybody in the Hong Kong, like, Hioi community what we did. And while we do have pretty good protection from the Yellow Lotus, it's not going to make our future any easier with hiring other Shadowrunners. We let them in. I think long-term this is the better call. We make friends. Jarl nods in appreciation before the other team, or once the other team is inside the lab. Thanks a lot. We would have been cut apart out there. Never get yourself backed into a corner, you know. This is Ares. You should have been more prepared. Somebody should have brought an assault cannon like he'd planned, but no. Getting it through SeaTac security was too much trouble. Don't sass me, Opti. If I'd had my way, I'd brought a second deck too. Goddamn sparky ice. The orc hefts his deck mournfully, wisps a smoke trail out of it, and there's the distinct smell of ozone. Here, catch. The keycard's worthless to me. He tosses it to you. Jarl spends a few moments scrutinizing you when his face suddenly lights up. Hey, wait a minute. I recognize you. You're Splattercat, right? Your name's all over the shadows of Hong Kong. From what I hear, you've been doing a lot of work for Kindly Chang. Well, damn. Blinking a few times, Dizzy looks you over. There's a touch of awe in her voice when she speaks. I didn't expect to run into such heavy hitters on our first run out here. Yeah, buddy, heavy hitters. They call me the heater, the sledgehammer, he who droppeth the brick. That's what I am. The ton of bricks. Forget that, not one brick. The tonneth of brickeths. I thought about that in retrospect. They probably won't mess with us anyways, even if we locked them out, because Kindly Chang will keep us covered. As long as we stay in the Hioi, we should be good. You have me at a disadvantage. Who are you? I'm Dizzy. The guy with the rifle is the Jarl. Dizzy stage whispers at you, cupping a hand next to her mouth. We try not to use the definite article. It sounds silly. Jarl, or the Jarl, whichever, is nonplussed by Dizzy's antics. It's a title, Dizzy. It deserves the before it. It's kind of like El Duce. Dizzy gestures at the shaman and the orc. Those two are Opti and Bull, magic and tech support. So, you ever heard of us? A little, yeah. You operate mostly in the UCAS, right? Yeah, I'm from all over. Don't really stay in one place much. The other three are all from the Great Lakes area. Ruefully, Jarl glances at the rest of his team. This was supposed to be an easy trip overseas for us. Do this job, maybe 2 or 3 more, and fly home. Jarl puts one finger in his ear. He cocks his head, listening intently, and after a moment he lets out a string of half-uttered curses. We're running out of time. We gotta move. And soon. Not so fast. What about the prototype? Bull shakes his head and snorts crudely. We can argue about this here, or we can try and get out of here before we get killed. If it makes you feel any better, you hang on to it until we get out of harm's way. Duncan nods his approval. Yeah, I think we'll do that. I just want to get out of here. What's your way out? We were going to rappel over the Federated Boeing building next door, but with all the racket, I think we could probably get shot off the line. We were going to go... Oh, yeah, it was an elevator shaft and a... That's what it is right there. We're going out underground, down an elevator shaft and over to an MTR station. I didn't even know that was there. Should have done better legwork before we got here. Bull reload... Well, luckily for me, I have people doing my legwork. I usually get lazy when I play tabletop, too. I'm like, nah, you know, we could go in there with lots of homework done, or we could sit around the table, eat snacks, and get into a gunfight. Huh? And usually people go for the second. Bull reloads his pistol, snapping it back to the holster with a loud click. We'll follow. More guns couldn't hurt, right? You lead the... I don't trust that for shit. You go first. Suddenly, there's the blare of alarms. Red lights click on overhead as the accompaniment to the noise. You also hear a sudden hissing sound, rather like a tire deflating. With that sound comes an acrid odor hanging heavy in the air. They're gassing us. Look! Over there. It's coming out of that vent. If my deck wasn't fried, I'd be able to jack in and stop it. I hope you brought a deck or some drones. If you haven't, we gotta get out of here fast. Okay. We got a little bit of time to deal with here. We got to pick up that. We got to look around, but I think I'm going to stop the episode right here. My name is Splattercat. I will see you all next time. Thank you for joining me for another episode of Shadowrun Hong Kong. Shit is heating up. It is getting quite fumorous in here. I don't even know if that's the right word. It is becoming fumy. It is becoming gassy in here. I'll see y'all later. Hi to everybody.